Alexei Burkov, an IT freelancer from St. Petersburg, has been handed down a 9-year sentence in the US on charges of cyber fraud. The man spent more than 4 years in Israeli prisons after an arrest on Washington's request. American prosecutors sought 15 years in prison for Burkov, who pleaded guilty for involvement in cyber attacks and computer network fraud. They accused him of organizing a cybercrime forum for criminals of all sorts, allowing them to obtain stolen data, hacking services and malware, and as well as cut shady deals with each other. Another website, also organized by Burkov, according to prosecutors, was selling more than 150,000 stolen credit card numbers, mostly taken from U.S. financial institutions. The damage his action dealt to the U.S. allegedly amounted to $20 million. Burkov cut a deal with the investigators back in January and pleaded guilty to 2 out of 5 counts he was initially charged with. If found guilty of all the charges, he could have been sentenced up to 80 years in prison. Calling himself a cybersecurity specialist and repeatedly denying all the charges at first, Burkov was arrested by Israeli authorities back in 2015 on an international warrant issued by the US. He said he had been hijacked and brought into custody after spending a holiday in Israel with his girlfriend, something that he described as a standard US scheme. After that, he spent more than 4 years in Israeli prisons, with no access to healthcare or regular visits from his lawyers. Russia also filed an extradition request for Burkov and reportedly considered swapping him for Nama Ishkar, a 25-year-old American who was sentenced to 7 years in prison in Russia on drug trafficking charges. The Russian will have to spend 3 more years in a US prison, as the 4 years he already spent behind bars in Israel will count as part of his sentence. The judge also ordered him to serve his sentence to the DC area to facilitate more future discussions with his lawyer, for reasons the court did not consider necessary to explain in the broader perspective.